Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Hope you've had a good weekend, a sunny weekend, isn't it? It's been a bit hot, not warm, hot. It's been hot. I've been sat out in the garden, feet up, enjoying my surroundings. I put a little bit of TLC into it, so when it's sunny, I like to enjoy it. We've had a week of sunshine up here in Scotland now, or as it's better known as, summer. But don't worry, today's the last day. After today, it's meant to be a bit wet for the rest of the week. Warm, but wet. Normality is back. And normality is what the Premier League are trying to get to. That's what this video is all about. Little bits and pieces here and there. But they're quite important pieces. Quite significant in moulding the new look Premier League. We all know it's going to be a bit different. But how different? That's what they're trying to do. That's what they're trying to decide. So Karen Beatty's column plays a big part of this video. Now, whether you agree with the column or not, we've done that debate, haven't we? But it gives you an insight into what went on and what was said in the 5-hour Premier League meeting on Thursday. And it's the only place you can get such an insight. No one else does it, which probably tells you if the column should be a thing or not. But I'm quite a nosy person. So when someone puts something up on social media, if they put up a photo, I'm having a little look. Even if I don't really want to know what the photo is, I'm looking because I'm nosy. I'm quite nosy about the Premier League as well. So when she puts it up, I can get a little insight. I'm saying insights a lot. Stop saying insight to you. But anyway, the thing that stood out first and foremost was the 15 fit players. As long as one's on a goalkeeper, you've got 15 fit players, you're fulfilling your Premier League fixture during Project Restart. It seems a very low number, doesn't it? 15. 4 subs, not much. But I think it's good. Not 15 players. The number itself, not so much. I think it could be a little bit higher. But to get a black and white rule in place before they go again is important. We cannot have any grey rules, grey areas. Because that's why we're in this mess in the first place, really, isn't it? France didn't have this problem because in the rule book they know what happens when football stops. So when the government says no live football to the 1st of September, turn to the rule book and said, okay, this is what happens. Lyon were a bit pissed off because they didn't get European football, as were those getting relegated. Tried to complain, but the judge just booted them out of court immediately. Said no. This is what's important for the Premier League. So if 3-4 games time a team are missing a lot of players, I mean, you've got to be missing a lot of players, haven't you, to only have 15. You've got a lot of injuries or you've got a lot of positive tests, which is a bigger concern. But if you turn around, the Premier League can now say, have you got 15? Yes, get on with it. It's in the rules. And all the clubs have to agree to this. Well, 14 of them do. And it's passed. That's now the rule. It's good. It's good to have these rules in place. They need as many as possible. Not all of it's been decided. They've got another meeting this Thursday to decide what happens if the league stops again. How many substitutions. That's all to be decided. But the other thing she said, which was quite, significant, obviously, I've told you that, is the last weekend in July is the last round of fixtures. They're getting the league wrapped up on the 25th to 26th of July. So it's 6 weeks, essentially. So 3 weeks from today, West Ham, bloody hell, 3 weeks from today, this video will be about the game that's just happened. Crikey, football is just round the corner, isn't it? So 6 weeks after that, season will be finished. So we've got 9 games in 6 weeks, which means 3 midweek games. That's a lot of football, not just to watch, but for those players playing as well. The reason they're doing it for that weekend is for the FA Cup coming back. It comes off after the Premier League's finished. The FA Cup's there. I'm a bit surprised, actually, that they're doing the Premier League. I understand why they're doing the Premier League. It's money, right? So the players need paid. Therefore, the clubs need to retain all their cash and generate as much as possible, which means they need to be playing football. It's a circle. I understand it. The FA Cup, not so much. There's only 8 teams left in it. So 20 teams. I know the 8 are in the 20 as well. But 20 teams' schedule's getting squished a bit for the cup competition at the end. There's not that much money in it. I know there's sponsors, but even that sponsorship's not that much money. But then again, if West Ham were in the FA Cup, I'd be praying it would come back and it would get completed. And I can't sit here, can I, and say that I love the FA Cup. I still believe in the romance of the FA Cup, and then say I'll just bin it off. So I think I've almost changed my mind about the FA Cup coming back just talking to you. FA Cup coming back. I still don't really understand it. I'm more surprised. That it's been given such an importance, because I thought the sheer importance was all about money, and there's just not that much money in the FA Cup. So maybe it is about integrity of football. Ha! No, it's about money, isn't it? What else have we got? Tests up to 60 people. This isn't in Brady's column. This is now just general knowledge. They've been doing 50. Prior to that, they were doing 40 tests per club. Then it went up to 50. Now going up to 60 this week. So another 10 people can be tested, which is significant because not only was there 0 positive tests in the last round of testing, it means David Moyes can now have another 10 people at the training ground. Now, one of them might be a groundsman, and there might be a physio in there. But I'd like to think some of those 10 will be players, the younger players probably, because he's going to have his first team ones back, isn't he? They're going to be back first. So when you've got that first 40, it's a very hard decision whoever's got to decide who that 40 is a big call. You've got to get all your first team players in, but you've also got to get Moyes, Nolan, the other staff, the physio, the groundsmen, they've all got to come in. It must be hard whittling down to this. But now you can increase it to 60. There might be a few youngsters added to the training ground to boost the numbers. In case we need them, we might need them. But also, I wouldn't be surprised if they relax the rules of the squad total. We've not really seen much about that. We know it's been discussed. The 25-man squad is planning on taking away the number 25. I don't think they should, in all honesty, because you can still use your under-21s anyway on top of that 25. So in a way, it would almost force clubs to use the youngsters. So I think it's probably a good thing to keep the 25-man squad. So yeah, we might see more players at the training ground. It might only be 3, 4, 5, but it all helps David Moyes. Next week, though, is huge for testing, because if you test positive next week, you then have to self-isolate, which means you'll miss the start of the season. So not so much this immediate testing, but the next couple of rounds of testing is the most important ones in terms of Project Restart on an individual basis. Before, it's been a collective thing, isn't it? How big is it overall? And if you had a positive test, you had a positive test. Bit of a concern, but it's fine. That person goes away from the training ground, away from the rest of them. But now you've got a positive test, that person is going to miss the start of the season. It changes things, doesn't it? Because a week before the game, a manager could have his ideal 11 going by what he's seeing and stuff, and one of them tests positive. Your whole thing might have to change. It must be very difficult to prepare for this game, because you normally have to prepare taking into consideration fitness and injuries and crikey, injuries. I've got one now. The heater was sore. Funny bone. Why is it called a funny bone? It's not funny. Well, it might be funny for you. That was sore. Anyway, moving on from that elbow. I don't even know what I was talking about now. I've lost my train of thought. Yes, injuries. So normally you have to take into consideration fatigue, injuries, form. But now you've got to take something else into consideration, which is testing. And you can't control that. You can control the other things. Not so much training ground injuries, but they don't happen that often. At West Ham they do, but you know what I'm trying to say. But you've now got this thing which you just don't know. Anyone could have it. You don't know, so it's crazy. More players. Training itself, though, here's the good news. Here's some good news for West Ham fans. Last week we were speaking about who's missing from training. They're back. Antonio had a few extra days off because, bless him, his father passed away during the pandemic, not with COVID-19. He had long-term health issues. He passed away, so Antonio had a few extra days off. He's back. He's been posting on social media that he's back, which is good. I like seeing stuff like this. It makes me feel comfortable that he's comfortable. If that makes sense. Creswell's back. There's a bit of concern about him, one of our most outspoken players against coming back. He's been back in training with a new beard, a new look, but he's back. Ogbona's back, which this is good. This is 3 first team starting players. When last week when we discovered they were perhaps not at training, that was a concern, because if you were to play Wolves, all 3 of them would be in contention to start. Ogbonna definitely would. Creswell will probably start, and Antonio's got a 50-50 chance with Anderson, really. It's 50-50 toss-up, I think, as to which one you start there. But they're all back in training. This is good. Moyes had them training at the London Stadium as well, in their kits. A game, West Ham v West Ham, 11 v 11, to try and replicate the new matchday environment as much as possible. This is a great idea. I don't think it's a genius idea. It's not groundbreaking, is it? I think most clubs will be doing this. But it's certainly not going to do any harm getting the players on the pitch at the London Stadium, get them changed in the changing rooms, coming out. I don't know if he'd done this, but sitting in the dugout with a mask on when you're not on the pitch and stuff, getting them ready, getting them used to it, so that when the game does come round, you've been there, you've done that, you've got the mask, nothing new. I don't know what the score was. No, that's important, is it? I think it was an hour long, the match. It was just over an hour, which is good. It's good, this is good. Hopefully it was a reasonably competitive game, because the one thing that I was concerned about, actually I'm going to keep this, but this leads on to the last bit, which is about Hammer's Chat, really. Obviously with the football coming up now around the corner, our content's going to be changing, and I'm quite excited about it. I'm almost more excited for the content than I am about the football coming back in a way. It's a bit weird, it's hard to explain, but I'm going to be doing a video with Gonzo about, it's like a channel update video. It's a bit boring, but if you're a bit nosy like me, you might like it, you might want to come along. We're going to be telling you what we're planning. Tell everyone what we're planning. Come along to that. We'll do a cup of tea this week. I wasn't sure we were, but I've just seen someone asked us earlier on Twitter, and I hadn't replied because I wasn't sure we were doing a cup of tea. But Gonzo replied, say, yeah, we're doing one this week. News to me, unless he's replaced me. Maybe it's a cup of tea with Gonzo and someone else. Or he's just assumed. Actually, he's right to assume I'll be indoors because it's going to be raining all week, isn't it? So he's probably correct to assume I'll be inside. But there's no buts. I can't even. As I pretend I might have something on, I'll maybe watch football. A cup of tea this week. We'll try and do a quiz this week as well, because we're going to have to start not wrapping them up completely, but the quizzes, they're not that frequent anyway. I've been quite bad with them. I was going to do one every week, but it's been one every 2 weeks at the minute. But they're now probably going to go one every month now with the football coming back and stuff. So the content's going to change on the channel, so we're just going to do a video about that. We've got a couple of other things coming up, but yeah, stay tuned. All that good stuff, not bashing your elbow in radiators, that's not good stuff though. But if you've enjoyed the video, please drop a thumbs up. It makes me feel good, partly it helps the channel out. I'm not convinced it does, but I feel a bit better. I need it, need cheering up. I've done that bit. Subscribe if you're new around here, and I'll catch up with you maybe tomorrow, but definitely on Wednesday when we'll have a cup of tea. So Gonzo's decide we're having one. I'm deciding when we're having it. If he's watched this video, he'll know it's on Wednesday. So see you on Wednesday if I don't see you before then. Look after yourselves. Enjoy the rain. Enjoy the sunshine. I'll catch you in a bit.